Final reminder to find a spot. We're going to start in about a minute here, so find a spot and we'll get going in 1 minute.
Can I have your attention, please? Attention, please. Attention, please. And now, introducing the West Bend High School's marching band under the direction of Miss Leah Duckert-Troll and their playing of America the Beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to now introduce Mr. Ralph Schloss, Principal of West Bend West.
All right, thank you. I want to thank the marching band for a job very well done. I also want to welcome our students, teachers, and our guests to today's Veterans Day ceremony. You are here because we have the opportunity to watch the very talented U.S. Army drill team perform. If you have not seen them before, you're in for a real treat. In fact, I've been told that we are the first schools in the state of Wisconsin to ever see this team perform live. None of this would have been possible if not for the tireless efforts of East Social Studies teacher, Mr. Scott Mindel. He has spent over 1 year planning this day. And I know because I remember him talking to me about this last year about this time. The work has taken many hours of correspondence, but the day has arrived. Mr. Mindel, job well done. It's been said, this will remain the land of the free, so long as it is the home of the brave. Let that sink in. Let me say it again. This will remain the land of the free, so long as it is the home of the brave. At this time, let's turn our attention to the south end of this field house and welcome to our schools the approximately 200 plus veterans who are here with their families. It is their bravery, again, it is their bravery that allows us to live as free people. And we humbly thank you for your personal sacrifice. I want to thank you, and let's enjoy the rest of the program.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand if you're able and remove your caps for the presentation of our nation's colors by the West Bend Veterans Honor Guard. After the presentation of the Color Guard, out of honor and respect for all those at home and abroad who have and who are continuing to protect our freedom, please remain standing as the West Bend High School's marching band plays our national anthem. It is now my pleasure to introduce Sergeant First Class Anna Stevens and Sergeant First Class Joshua Blake from the United States Army Recruiting Station here in West Bend for a special presentation.
So, on behalf of the West
On Monday, November 11th, we celebrate Veterans Day, which honors all who have served our country in the armed forces. This holiday was originally established as Armistice Day to honor veterans of World War I and was later updated to honor veterans of all generations. The men and women who volunteer to serve America in uniform come from every walk of life and from every state and territory of the United States. These courageous individuals put their lives in harm's way to protect people they have never met. We should not only be proud, but also be honored to live in a country where this type of courage exists. On this very special day, we pause to reflect on the sacrifices and accomplishments of over 22 million veterans in our many communities throughout the nation, as well as those still standing duty. The President has stated, our nation's veterans represent the best of America. Generation after generation, men and women have answered the call to defend our country and our freedom, facing danger and uncertainty with uncommon courage. They make tremendous sacrifices by leaving their families to serve throughout the homeland and in combat and humanitarian operations worldwide. It is most appropriate that in this season of gratitude, we stop to recognize veterans, military families, and those who gave their lives in service to this great nation. We are indebted to these heroes for the freedoms we enjoy every day. I ask all Americans to join me in offering our sincere thanks to our veterans and the families who love and support them. As most of you now know, the TV monitor across from the main office here in the high school displays the names of those that have attended the West Bend high schools or who have taught here that are U.S. veterans of the U.S. Armed Forces. This list includes over 1,860 names of individuals starting from the graduating class of 1897 to 2019. They have chosen a path of service to their country. They deserve recognition for that choice and sacrifice. Let it continue to serve as a reminder of those that have once walked these halls, of their dedication to something above and beyond themselves. It is now my pleasure to introduce Mr. Rob Wilmes. Not only is Mr. Wilmes an outstanding technical education teacher and shaper and motivator of young adults, but like our honored guests, he is also a military veteran. Staff Sergeant Wilmes was a member of the Wisconsin Air National Guard and served in the Kosovo War in 1999, then known as Operation Allied Force, as well as Operation Enduring Freedom and Operation Iraqi Freedom from 2001 to 2004, after which he was honorably discharged. Please help me in giving a warm West Bend greeting to one of our own, Mr. Rob Wilmes.
Thank you, Mr. Mindel. First off, for all that you've done for our future, current, past military members. Thank you for putting the assembly together. Say I am and was a bit nervous about talking today would be interesting. Being a veteran means so many things to so many different people. Right. My daughter asked if I was going to wear my dress uniform. I told her that was 22 years ago and 32 pounds. Oh no. Military members, teachers, police, fire, EMS, list goes on. All public service professionals. We're all veterans in our own regards. We are all here to serve you, city, state, country. Today is about military veterans, but understand it's true about all public servants. It's not just about carrying a weapon. I was a crew chief on an aircraft. I was a jet mechanic. I had jungle or desert PDUs that were trying to help me hide. I held a reflective belt on so that aircraft ramp vehicles could see me. I wasn't hiding. biggest weapon they allowed me to carry was a leather. Point being, it takes all types of people to make up our military and our veterans. Infantry, medics, pilots, engineers, accountants, mechanics, doctors, educators, paratroopers, the list goes on. It takes a lot of people of every talent to help keep our nation and world safe. The veterans here today all have their own stories. There are so many that aren't here. They can't be. They were either lost in combat or they've taken their own lives. Quite often due to what they saw, what they did, and what they experienced in the field. Protecting the things we love so much, our freedom. So what does it mean to be a veteran? The following are some of my own thoughts, and some are from others that I've talked to, both young and old. Watching a marching band out of step is gut-wrenching. Keeping a bag packed and ready to go at a moment's notice. Waking up in the middle of the night with dreams of being shot or shooting others. Having a cracking, faltering voice when speaking of certain events that trigger certain emotions, no matter how many times you speak of them. Chills and tears when taps, the national anthem, God Bless America, or On Eagle's Wings is played. That reminder on your back when you and your buddies had your first free day and you all went to go to a tattoo parlor to get tattoos on your backs. Sharing stories, knowing that others cannot fathom telling their story. Anger and sadness every 9/11. Watching a Patriot missile launch, knowing that it's keeping you safe. Respect for those in the military who do it right, who represent the military and the flag they wear on their shoulder with the utmost respect. For those that show civilians true meaning of being a military member. And anger for those that take being in the military as an excuse to act in any other way. Things take on a different role, a different meaning, and appreciation for what we have. Sometimes what we don't have. We tend to think about what we take for granted instead of living in the moment. In basic training, everything is stripped from you. Your self-identity, your thoughts, your strengths, your weaknesses, your hair, your glasses, and your clothing. You are now theirs for a good reason. We come into basic as individuals. It's not how the military works. Military is about service before self. It is those around us before ourselves. It is a team, not an individual. So everyone was put on the same playing field, stripped down, broken down, retrained to be a team member. One fails, we all fail. We succeed, we get to eat for 60 seconds instead of 20 seconds. As basic progresses, we grow as a team. We learn to work with and lean on each other, to help each other no matter our economic status, our skin color, style of our clothes, music we listen to, how many Twitter and Instagram followers we have. Because in the end, none of that matters. What does matter is life and the quality of life we have on a daily basis. We are given a chance and a choice to make the best of our lives. Students, take a look around the room. Take a look at the veterans. Take a look at the teachers that are surrounding you. We all have your back. In the future, when we aren't able to carry that task on anymore, some of you will take up arms, some of you will pick up dry erase markers, and have our backs, and the backs of those people around you. As current and past military members and as teachers, we have your back. We are all here to protect you. Some of us have protected you. We are here to give you the opportunities that so many other people around this world do not have. If you watch or read the news, you see all the bad stuff, murders, racism, bigotry, hate. Then you get the weather and Packer updates. You rarely see the good things that are going on in the world, in the United States. Look around, pay attention, put your phones down, and live in the moment. I'm a firm believer that everyone should do some type of military service, some type of public service. It teaches you things about yourself, about others, how to work as a team, or fail as an individual. It teaches you respect, pride, self-determination, integrity, leadership, confidence, self-control, and self-discipline. Teachers are kind of like being in the military. Active military members and veterans protect our rights. Teachers teach you about your rights. Our military helps make sure you keep those rights. Thank you for your time and patience. Over the next week, thank a veteran. They served you. Odds are they have no idea who you are. But they put themselves and their life on the line for you. For me personally, thank you to the fellow veterans that are in this room. I cannot thank you enough. I was a mechanic in the Wisconsin Air National Guard. I wasn't even allowed to carry a weapon. Was I in danger? Maybe. But I know you all had my back, so I never worried about it. I sent my plane off to refuel the fighters, the bombers, the surveillance, and the attack aircraft. My plane came home, and we did it again. Some of you saw things none of us can imagine or want to imagine. Unfortunately, it seems some veterans have been forgotten or disregarded as second-class citizens in unpopular wars. War isn't popular. It's not something we wish or hope. It's a duty we take on to protect and serve not just our own nation, but all nations that can't protect themselves. Veterans, please do not let your stories go untold. My wife's grandfather was a Marine in World War II. I know he did and saw horrible things. As he grew old, he still shook my hand so firm, it amazed me. He was a frail old man. He is a Marine. He protected so many people, as have all of you, in selfless, non-judgmental ways. We live in a country that allows us an opinion, a voice, and freedom. We are a United States. Due to the service and selflessness of you. So thank you, veterans, for having my back, our backs, and providing us the freedom that so many take.
Thank you, Mr. Wilmes. Let's now turn our attention to our honored guests, the assembled veterans present today. Today is a day to recognize and honor their individual sacrifice and service to this great country. On behalf of the students and staff of the West Bend High Schools, I would like to personally thank you for your service. I would now ask that the veterans who are in attendance please stand while their service song is being played so that you can be publicly recognized. United States Army. United States Navy. United States Marine Corps. The United States Air Force. And the United States Coast Guard. Today, we will also recognize those service members that paid the ultimate sacrifice. Since the first graduating class of 1887, 29 West Bend High School students have been killed in the service of their country. In honor of their sacrifice, we will continue the program with the playing of taps. A version of present-day taps was made during the Civil War by Union General Daniel Adams Butterfield. By 1891, Army infantry regulations required taps to be played at military funeral ceremonies. Taps is now played by the military at burial and memorial services to accompany the lowering of the flag and to signal the lights out command at day's end. West Senior Brady Falk will now play taps in remembrance especially of those 29 former West Bend High School student veterans and all veterans lost to war. Thank you.
So I am Specialist Caleb Hagelberger. I am from the 3rd United States Infantry Regiment, which is known as the Old Guard. We are from Arlington, Virginia, right next to our nation's capital in Washington, D.C., and we are here with the United States Army Drill Team today. The United States Army Drill Team is very, very excited to be here and very honored to be a part of this ceremony. And we're very thankful for our veterans that are here. Thank you for your service and what you've done, paved the road for us. And we are excited to be here to perform for the students. So the big thing that the drill team, if it's real quiet, it's weird, right? So when these guys are out performing, they're going to be spinning rifles or throw rifles in the air. They're going to throw rifles over top of people. So the louder you are, the more fun it is for them. Okay, so I heard that the West kids are louder than the East kids earlier today when we had our meetings. So I'm going to assume that's the truth. But, so we'll have this here for you guys. So the United States Army Drill Team will come out now.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the United States Army Drill Team. We ask that no one uses flash photography, as the soldiers are using real weapons with sharpened bayonets. However, we do encourage you to cheer and applaud the soldiers throughout the performance. Since the birth of our nation, American soldiers have always committed to a professional ethic of values, possess unquestionable character, and are highly competent. The drill team is the embodiment of these qualities. Members of the drill team are from all corners of the United States with a wide range of specialties. They have perfected their mission and are here to share with you today. Ladies and gentlemen, your United States Army Drill Team! Today, the drill team is introduced by their drill master, Sergeant First Class Ivan Valadez from Los Angeles, California. American soldiers have served and sacrificed in the Army to preserve our way of life, our values, and our future. The Army's trusted professionals have, are, and will always be prepared to defend the Constitution of the United States and answer America's call whenever and wherever needed. Now taking command as the United States Army Drill Team Commander, Captain James Forgrave from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. All right, West Bend High School. This is where we want to hear you. I think the East Bend a little bit louder. The drill team represents today's soldiers, as well as yesterday's heroes, who proudly fought in the Revolutionary War and continue to serve in the mountains of Afghanistan, throughout the Middle East, Europe, Korea, and around the world. And now, the most difficult maneuver of all. The soldiers will continue to march as members from the front rank toss their rifles into the air over the formation to be caught by the soldier in the rear rank. This is again an exercise in trust, as each member will have to put their safety in the hands of their brothers in arms. This is the United States Army Drill Team's signature maneuver since 1958, the frontal rear overhead rifle toss. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, the ambassadors for today's Army, yesterday's heroes, and tomorrow's soldiers, your United States Army Drill Team.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I ask that you please stand, if you're able, and remain standing as the West Bend Veterans Honor Guard retires the colors. Ladies and gentlemen, the West Bend Veterans Honor Guard. And now, it is my pleasure to introduce Mr. John Graff, Principal, West Bend East.
Thank you very much. Students, you were great during this. That was the best assembly I've ever been. So you, as Mr. Wilmes said during his speech today, I hope you lived in the moment, and I truly hope you will remember this forever. Now, in order for such an assembly to take place, there are a lot of people involved. There's a lot of time involved. I'd like to start off by thanking our West Bend High School band. The West Bend Veterans Honor Guard. Sergeant First Class Blake, Sergeant Stevens of the West Bend Army Recruiting Office. They are back there over in the back end. As I said, I really hope that you watch the speech again. Can Mr. Wilmes come out for a round of applause? Thank you. The show that we just saw of what these individuals are capable of doing, our U.S. Army Drill Team. above all, our veterans and those that are not with us today, so thank you. You can stand and give an applause. Stand up. Thank you. Now, in order for such an assembly to take place, there's a very special teacher here at East High School. If Mr. Mindel could come out one more time. Thank you. That was phenomenal. That was great. Got you. It is truly an honor to be associated with West Bend East and West Bend West High School. Veterans, I cannot say it enough. Thank you very much for everything that you have done for this country. Thank you, U.S. Army Drill Team. Now here we are at the point where we will dismiss. We want to make sure that we do it in an orderly fashion to make sure that everybody is safe. So if students could sit down, I'd greatly appreciate it. Mr. Schloss will come around and he'll stand and he will dismiss the section. So we'll start over here and we will begin dismissal. Wait for your turn so that we can exit in a safe and orderly manner.